Chef Corwin here. Join me on a great adventure.
An adventure that will take us throughout the American West.
Check it out.
To explore an amazing predator, the wolf. Humans have been the wolf's worst enemy, and yet its biggest savior. I'm going to help save a pair of wolves by moving them out of this defunct sanctuary and into a much better home.
Someone get a net quickly, please.
I'll also see how wildlife authorities are trying to keep the North American wolf population vital, and some people are not happy about that.
I lost a calf on the hill up behind us here.
We've managed to excavate the eyeballs out.
Wolves. From swamp to desert to the Rocky Mountains. And a few surprises along the way.
This isn't the type of serpent that is quick to flee.
And what does a trampoline have to do with it all? Keep it here on the Jeff Corwin Experience to find out. I promise, it'll be a howl.
Let's do a little exploring. Check it out. I told him. Check it out. That handsome fella right there, that's Beowulf. And the lovely lass behind him is Freckett. And they are our reasons for being here in Conroe, Texas. You see, this is a supposed wolf sanctuary, but it's gone awry. Their efforts to protect these wolves has fallen through. And that's the reason why we're here. We're going to launch a wolf odyssey to give these very special creatures salvation and give them a better, more free life.
Conroe is a small town just outside Houston, Texas. This place is currently home to these 2 wolves and 13 wolf hybrids, which are animals that are a cross between wolves and domestic dogs. There were many more animals placed here for refuge, but they died from disease. A lack of financial resources led to allegations that the animals here were being neglected and not getting the care they needed, so it was shut down by local authorities. Worse, not knowing what else to do, county officials threatened to have these animals euthanized. I'm working with a very special organization called Wolf. These volunteers have come all the way from Colorado to move all of these animals out of here and into new homes. This is Pat Wendland, co-founder of Wolf.
Yeah.
We can close that gate and get them guarded.
She is leading the effort today.
Yes.
Cheryl and Jim are part of her volunteer vet team.
Hey, boys.
Luckily, we've found good homes for the wolf hybrids, so that just leaves the only suspected pure wolves at the sanctuary. Beowulf and Freckett. Now, I say suspected because there's no test to see if they are absolutely 100% bona fide pure wolves. However, their records indicate that their lineage is indeed pure wolf.
Good boy. There you go. See that? You took the chicken right out of my hand, and that takes a lot of trust. That's a risk for this animal to approach me.
So here's the plan for our new friends Beowulf and Freckett. There's a ranch just outside Denver, Colorado that has become a makeshift wildlife sanctuary. We have plenty of enclosures to accommodate the 2 wolves. Pat and some of her volunteers are going to drive Beowulf and Freckett all the ways from Texas to Colorado. But before we prepare them for this arduous trip ahead, we need to get all the animals out of here. We need to knock them out, move them out, and shoot them up.
Look at the muzzle of this extraordinary animal.
A little dental work on the canines, some surgical prep work here, followed by the necessary medical procedures. In this case, we're spaying a wolf dog named Lila to prevent future Lilouise from winding up like this.
Every year, people in their interest to bring a little bit of the wilderness and the indoors create these wolf dogs. And the goal is not to make more of these animals.
And that's how Lilouise and her friends wound up here. Even though our female Freckett and male Beowulf are pure wolves, they've been spayed and neutered. That's because captivity has robbed them of the ability to raise wild wolf pups.
All right.
We'll let this beauty wake up, and very soon we're going to move on to Beowulf and Fracket. But in the meantime, I'm going to check out these woods and see what non-canine creatures live here. Salamander habitat in here, but nothing. Sort of nice to be out of the shorts and t-shirts for a while. Look at this, right behind this tree. See, there are more than just wolves living in this little tract of forest. We've got certainly one of my favorite snakes living in North America, and it is a venomous one. I don't have my snake stick. This will work, though. Very pretty snake who's starting to creep off there a little bit, so I'm just going to sneak in here. Carefully, very, very carefully, I'm going to extract this beauty out. And I'm just going to do this very quick because this is a copperhead. Sometimes copperheads are all pith and vinegar. So I'm going to put him in a better position like that. This isn't the type of serpent that is quick to flee. I said something that ticked him off. I don't want to tick him off too much. But see what he's doing with his tail? Rattling his tail very fast. The behavior common to many of the New World vipers. Now what I want to do is sort of lift him up again. You can see it. Look at that tail. Again, it's not a rattlesnake. There's not a stack of buttons of dried up skin rubbing against each other, but it will make a sound when it's vibrating against leaves and sticks, allowing other creatures to know it's ticked off. And of course, it has a defense, and that is venom. But its ultimate defense is this. Where's the snake? Practically invisible. Best camouflage you'll find on any Texan snake. But we are not here for snakes. We are here for wolves. So let's get back to Fracket. Let's get back to Beowulf. And let's place this wonderful, very special snake, a serpent warranting lots of respect, but to me, just as important as wolves and any other North American creature.
Hey, Jeff, why don't you quit playing with snakes and come give us a hand?
Right, I'm coming.
Don't start without me, guys.
We're waiting. We've got stuff for you to do.
Hey, listen, there's nothing more fun than a boy playing with his snakes. Of course, wolves are equally fun. All right, so what are we doing?
Okay, we need to draw some vaccines.
Okay, you doing rabies?
Rabies for each.
So you want like 1 cc?
1 cc, yes.
Here we go. 1 cc. This is what it's all about. We're getting our wonderful wolves, Beowulf and Fracket, ready for their great journey across country. And of course, to do that, we have to make sure they're up to date with their vaccinations. These vaccinations are vital to the survival of these creatures. This sanctuary recently lost 20 animals due to distemper, a very contagious but preventable disease. In fact, wolves are surviving in this country in the face of tremendous adversity, disease being just one factor. That was good, dude. Wolves were hunted to near extinction in the United States until they became protected under the Endangered Species Act in the mid-70s. Today, there are approximately 3,700 wolves living in the lower 48 states, and numbers keep rising. Sounds like a happy ending, right? Well, not exactly. Government-sponsored captive breeding programs are currently producing offspring to ensure wild wolf populations remain stable and viable. But what then? You see, many people don't want wolves living among them, or even near them, especially if they keep livestock for a living. I'll check out both sides of this story to learn more about how breeding programs work and to hear how local people feel about dealing with wild wolves after they've been released.
Sure, you all ready?
I'm all set.
Okay, let's go.
But first, we need to get those two Texas wolves on their way to a better life in Colorado. We must dart them so we can transport them. Our male Beowulf is up first.
We're not hunting. We're helping.
Okay, we got a
There
good
we
shot.
go. Great.
Okay.
Very soon Beowulf will be sound asleep. Now it's time for Fracket. There. Excellent job.
While Beowulf naps, we give him his shots.
Here we go. So he's had the rabies, now the distemper, now this beauty is all ready for the great journey ahead to a new life and to a great quality existence.
Fracket should be fast asleep now.
Just slip that muzzle on your face. Oh, see, that's... She may need a little more drug.
Might need a little... Boy, almost got the muzzle on.
It looks as though she's down again. Or is she?
Look at this. Holy cow, this is a powerful, powerful wolf.
After waiting a while for the drug to take effect, it becomes obvious that she needs another dose.
I'm sorry, girl. I hate doing that. It really doesn't make me happy, but it's just so pathetic.
But, you know, she just has such a powerful will, such a strong constitution. And if you ever were looking for the difference between your standard domesticated dog and a wolf, it is this wild streak that runs through these gorgeous creatures.
Wolves and domestic dogs are extremely similar genetically, sharing all but 0.2% of their DNA. But that small amount can make a huge difference, and Fracket's reaction to this drug is a perfect example. Because historically, they haven't been around people as much, wolves have a greater fight or flight response to humans than other canines. That means they release more adrenaline into their system when stressed.
Okay. Man, this animal's got some gumption.
Right here.
Now that Fracket is catching some Z's, we can get her ready for the big road trip.
Okay, here we go. As you can see, Beowulf is coming around there. It'll be a while before Fracket opens her eyes, but it's a new life for them. They're heading out of here. We're moving on to New Mexico. More adventure for us, and a better existence for these wolves. Well, welcome to beautiful New Mexico, one of my favorite places in North America.
I've flown here from Texas for a specialized team, and I have rescued 15 wolves from a sanctuary that was too small and ill-equipped to care for wolves and wolf hybrids. Pat, meanwhile, is on the road with Beowulf and Fracket, our rescue pure wolves that are now on their way to a new life at a Colorado ranch. I'm going to meet them there, but first, I have this very rare opportunity to work with a very rare wolf.
I'm talking about the Mexican gray wolf. It's an amazing project, and we have a chance to work with it firsthand and hands-on. Let's go check it out. Come on, let's go. Come on.
Mexican gray wolves once thrived in the American Southwest, but they were all but wiped out by the 1950s. Today, there are only 300 living in the world, and in the wild, there's only 40.
Okay, everybody, we're going to file into this pen and move right. That's 578 and 637 are in here. We're going to catch both of them and crate both of them, and then we'll haul them down to the trailer to radio.
This is Maggie Dwyer with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. They, along with the New Mexico Game and Fish, manage a captive breeding and release program for this subspecies. I'm here at one of their main locations in the Sevietta National Wildlife Refuge, just outside Albuquerque.
Now, we're going to move inside, and you watch this unfold. It's going to be a little chaotic, but it should be very exciting.
The wolves here have been paired up in pens. It's time to see if any of the females are pregnant. There are 15 wolves total at this facility, but today we are only going to try to catch one breeding pair. If the female we get is pregnant, the pair will be released in a few weeks so the pups can be raised in the wild. That's what this is all about, reestablishing a wild, true population of these very rare wolves and ensuring the survival of this important species.
It's a shot. There's a wolf right there.
Look at this right there. This wolf. See, what we're trying to do is create basically a wall of people, a human shield, a blockade to keep these animals in front.
All right, folks, what we're going to do is push this way, just form our wall across the pen.
That's Colleen Buchanan, also with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Let's get our line before we start moving in.
And that's what we're talking about right there. We've got this huge enclosure, nearly an acre in size, and we could get those wolves from this massive expanse into these nets, into some cages, and take some tests. It'll be something like this.
We're netting these wolves instead of darting because it's just difficult to get a clear shot in such a large enclosure. You see, if we try to dart them and we hit the wrong spot, we could actually injure them.
So I'm going to get in position down here.
We're going to have to hold this line really tight. He's really good at breaking through, so use your tools.
Look at that. Our male wolf is charging right at us. There he goes. He breaks right through our human shield.
I have to tell you, I sucked at sports in high school.
All right, he's looking for the place to break it, so hold your line. Get even with me. Awesome. Get a white pole. Someone get a net quickly, please. Or a crate.
It's a bit of a stressful situation. The whole goal is to not hurt this animal, which they didn't. That's why you have two nets going over each other to sort of cup it up, scoop it up, to protect the wolf and to protect the people working with it. Okay, so now that they've stabilized her, she's safely secured, they're going to move her into the kennel.
Guys, we're looking at one of the rarest canines on the planet. And if all goes well with their mate on the other side, they'll be released in the wild to go start a new pack on their own. We form a human wall again and approach the den box. The den box is a wolf version of, well, kind of like a doghouse. It's where they retreat for safety.
Yeah, the lid is off, guys, when you approach it. We're going to need probably a net on top and one in front of the door.
Everyone assumes the male's in there, but we're in for quite a surprise.
I got it. Don't see anybody.
There's no wolf.
We did a great game.
Where'd he go?
He's here.
When did they dig this?
Here's what's happened. We've got the female. She's put in the kennel, but we've got this male right here. As you can see, they've constructed a den, which is a very good sign that she is pregnant. She is fat with pups. What he's trying to do is
You don't have him completely.
slip the noose around the animal's head to extract it very carefully without hurting it.
Isn't it?
Once they get the noose around the wolf's neck, our biologist almost gets stuck in the hole. We'll spare him the noose and try it the old-fashioned way.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Bring him out.
Finally, our Mexican gray wolf is out of the ground, in a crate, and off to what will hopefully be the next step in getting the subspecies reintroduced into the wild.
All right, so the next step is to get these wolves back to the lab and see what secrets they have to tell. I'm very excited to see these creatures up close and personal because you're now about to have a chance to see a Mexican gray wolf in a way that most people never have. And it's going to be really cool.
In New Mexico, where wildlife authorities and I have captured a breeding pair of an extremely endangered wolf subspecies. While Pat is still well on her way to Colorado with our wolf friends, it's off to the lab to see if our captured female will be having babies soon.
Take us back this way.
While they do a workup on this male, I can't wait to see if pups are on the way.
How's it going, Maggie?
Good. We're getting ready to assess her body condition.
Right. There's something very important we need to find out about her. She has some information to share, which perhaps is a sign of potential success when it comes to recovering these creatures. So what are you feeling for?
For pregnancy, to see if we can feel these fetuses in the uterus, and they'll feel like definite lumps. Just the way her abdomen is pushed out tells you something.
And it's a little tight too.
Yeah. Let's say
Very tight.
And I'll bet you there's something in there.
It could be a xenomorph from Aliens, but I don't know.
And feel this way, and you could feel a
Feel a bump.
good sized bump in there. Yeah, see. Right. Like that.
There's 2 males and a female, and one. No, this is very exciting stuff. Clearly, she is pregnant, which means the next step for these Mexican gray wolves is freedom, and that's what will come in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, we've got to move her back to the crate, right?
Do you want to give the drug reversal and then we'll put her in the crate and wait
Sure.
for her to wake up?
Lucky for these wolves, their future is looking very bright. The sedative that our team has used is mild enough that it will not harm our wolves if she has pups.
Ready?
Do you want to get her from the back?
I've got her if you got her.
Okay.
Guys, this is a big step forward in reestablishing this very important species stock in the wild. After they are released in a few weeks, the local wildlife authorities will keep monitoring their progress as the family grows and grows and hopefully grows some more.
And there she goes. Very quickly her eyes opened up, and very soon she'll be with her mate. In just a few weeks, she'll be in the wilderness.
As positive as it may seem, not everyone is happy about this breeding and release program. Soon, I'll be on my way to Montana to find out why.
You got some spirit. Smart horse. Check this out. Back up. Back up. Come on. Back up. Back up. Come on. Come on. Get out of the way. Oh, no. Rattlesnake, good thing. Horse hoof rattlesnake, bad thing. Come on. Come on over here. Come on. Man, awesome critter. Awesome critter. Very nice. Okay. You stay right here. Look at this beautiful view. Stay right there. Stay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful serpent. It's okay. You're okay. Really got to watch this horse. The last thing I want this animal to do is come over and step on this snake. And of course, it has its own natural alarm, its own natural signal to let other creatures know that they're treading on something dangerous. And I'm talking about the rattle at the end. Now stop this right now. You behave. I'm talking about the rattle at the end of this creature's tail. This is a western diamondback rattlesnake. Now, this is a serpent not to be trifled with, because this, my friends, is one of the greatest serpents of the Southwest. I've got to really watch my horse. Have you noticed what this horse is doing? When it hears the rattle and it feels a little close, and it gets a little bit of comfort behind my back, it will do this. It'll urinate. It will send out a stream of urine No, what it's going to do is it's going to stomp. It's going to basically take those heavy hooves and crush it beneath its weight. And of course, it's called the diamondback rattlesnake because you can see that beautiful, almost cream-colored pattern, triangular shapes running down the back of its spine. And it's got almost that cinnamon brown-colored keel bed of scales underneath it. A gorgeous snake. Here's the thing about rattlesnakes. They can be very difficult serpents to work with, especially in the hands-on mode. If I were to pin this animal with this stick and try to secure it in my hands, heck, I know I can do it. I've done it before. But there's a very good chance that this snake, in the process of being confined, will struggle to the point that it will injure itself. It could throw a fang and run a fang right through its own body. That's the last thing I want to do. Usually, The only time I physically work with rattlesnakes is when we have a legitimate reason to do so. And in this case, we're not in that situation. You know, when I see a creature like this rattlesnake, what I'm reminded of is the gray wolf. Both creatures are vilified by people. They're not recognized for the important role they play in keeping this ecosystem balanced. Come on, buddy.
We've seen how captive wolves are bred, but what happens when they're released? I'm heading to Yellowstone National Park, the center of modern wolf controversy in America. And Mr. Wolf meets Mr. Elk.
They've totally stripped this creature clean.
And later, can you guess what this is used for?
It's actually sort of like the 1920s radio shows.
Find out only on Animal Planet, the Jeff Corwin Experience.
Just look at this vista. It's just Americana natural history at its best. We've got this sweeping backdrop of mountains and conifers. We've got some happy buffalo feeding away. They love this soppy grass. It's rich with forbs. See that? Look at that. We've got some young males sparring there, butting up, horn to horn, head to head. We've got this lagoon right here with some Canadian geese trying to keep nice and warm. They've tucked their heads up into their downy bodies. And where there is life, there is death as well. We've got the carcass of a buffalo right here. This is the pelvic, girdle. It's where the legs articulated. I know it's a buffalo because that's a buffalo hoof. I also know, by the way this has been stripped and cleaned and sheared, that the creatures that took this down were wolves. And that's why we're here. We've come to Yellowstone to look at wild wolves, the conservation, the role this predator plays in this ecosystem, as well as the conflict that exists in this part of the world between man and wolf. This is exactly what we've come to see here in Yellowstone. Check it out. Very nice. See, right over here, it looks like a female wolf. Beautiful black-colored coat. But what's really cool is what's right there. We have wild wolves on a kill. Definitely eating an elk. And how many are there? It's hard to tell how many because they're moving back and forth. It's really cool, but at the same time, it's frustrating because normally we like to be in the thick of it. We like to be in that dance of life and death, but not in this situation because these wolves want nothing to do with us. They are terrified of people because when they go to the outskirts of this national park, they can run into trouble. Amazing stuff. Okay. Let's move on. Oh my, check this out. Look at this. Someone call a veterinarian quickly. Holy cow, or better yet, holy bull. Trying to imagine what it was like when this beautiful elk was bugling up, perhaps in that slope, maybe bugling a little bit too loud.
Because whatever he did, he brought in a predator. Or better yet, predators. Because, guys, we've got tracks here. And they're definitely canine tracks, not coyotes. That'd be about this big. We definitely have tracks of wolves. When they take down something great like this, it's done as a community. It's done as a clan. One wolf would have a tremendous time putting its life at risk trying to kill a creature with a rack like this. But when it goes in with its brethren, its brothers and sisters, okay, members of the group, it does so very efficiently. And then they come together, and of course, who's eating first, right? It would be the alphas, the ones in charge of the clan, the ones with the rights to breed, the ones that serve at the top, at the pinnacle of the hierarchy. But look at how efficient these animals are. They have totally stripped this creature clean, leaving nothing but the bones. It's extraordinary. They've managed to excavate the eyeballs out. If you look in the vomerine cavity, you can see the nasal cavity has been absolutely cleaned of any flesh. See that? You've just discovered one of the mandibles right here. Of course, there was another piece that went like this. Okay, and these are the incisors. We've got some cusps, these molars right here for grinding up grains. But what does this tell us? This tells us that although it looks pretty powerful and pretty strong, looks can be deceiving, because when you get to the nuts and bolts, you will see that these teeth have been worn away right down to the root. I mean, look at that. So that in fact this was a very old animal. We're talking maybe 9 or 10 years in age. And that is an ancient elk. And to me, this is intriguing. How does a wolf know the status of a creature's health just by looking at it? Do they chase it? Do they see if it's limping? Do they see how well it is at defending itself? Are they looking at the way this creature is interacting with other elk around it? Okay? Are they looking at this creature's inability to compete, perhaps? What it tells us is that wolves are totally plugged into their environment. It also tells us that wolves are capitalists, and they capitalize on the bad luck of others. In this case, a very old elk. Can't beat this. You got sky that goes on forever with that beautiful mountain vista behind you. We're just outside of Yellowstone National Park, and many of the people that live in the surrounding communities have livelihoods which are directly connected to the land. Okay, in this case, cattle ranching. And unfortunately, many of the people aren't always getting along with wolves. And I thought it's important for us to truly understand the situation, and to do that, we need to hear all sides. Okay? Over here, we've got a gentleman who is a cattle rancher, and we're going to hear his story. Come on. Now, this is Indian, right? The name of this horse?
That's Indian.
It's a great horse. This is Martin Davis, and your family's been here for like 40 years, right?
Almost.
But like 4 generations of cattle ranching.
That's
correct.
correct.
And so, how do wolves play into what your family's been doing?
We raise cattle,
Yeah.
and when wolves take some of your cattle, that's some of your profit.
Yeah, and it's not like there's millions of dollars to be made off of cattle
That's right.
ranching.
We scrape to make ends meet for sure. Our life savings is tied up in these cows right here. That's where our life savings is.
You know, as you know, it's been such a politically tense and precarious situation, the whole concept of reintroducing wolves. So with someone like yourself who has a livelihood dependent on the land, and now that wolves are involved in the scenario, how do you feel about them?
Wolves up in Yellowstone Park, maybe that's okay. But when wolves come out of the park onto private property and start jeopardizing livelihoods, then I don't feel that's right. I lost a calf on the hill up behind us here.
Now, since the wolves have arrived here and problems have started to happen,
there have been some newer technologies, right, to help someone like yourself deal with wolves?
Right.
Now, are you using any of those things here on your ranch?
Yes, we are.
Like what?
A thing called a rag box.
A rag box?
Yeah.
Where's your rag box?
Right over yonder.
Right there, huh?
Yeah.
Want to check out a rag box? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll trade you the horse.
Okay.
We'll go check out the rag
All
box. Very interesting technology right here. What I find most exciting is that this is a potential solution that was essentially developed by the people who are having a problem with wolves. It's called a rag box, right? Now, let's not forget that we've got this quote-unquote experimental population of wolves living in Yellowstone. A number of the individuals are collared. We've seen this before, radio telemetry, right, a collar. Now, here's the thing. The signal in this collar, right, can actually set off this rag box. And you see it's got this strobe light right here. So, wolf comes in, assuming it's collared. As it approaches this rag box, it sets it off. And this is what it sounds like when you're a wolf and you come in. It's actually sort of like the 1920s radio shows. Well, that's enough of that. I could see why wolves would want to sit around and listen to this. In fact, it's so ear-wrenching and nerve-twisting, it sends them running in the opposite direction. That's its purpose. And again, the idea came from ranchers, but it's being funded by organizations like Defenders of Wildlife, okay, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And what I find most exciting about it is that it is one more step forward to the possibility of human beings learning to live with these extraordinary creatures that can sometimes be problematic. And of course, we're talking about wolves.
It's refreshing to see that the people of Montana have found a way to at least partially manage their wolf conflict. Now, further south in the Rockies, we're about to welcome 2 new wolves to their new homes. It's time to embark on the final leg of our journey. Pat and our wolves have just a few hours left in their trip, which means I have a few hours for something really exciting. This is Pat's sanctuary located just outside Denver. This is not where she'll be bringing Beowulf and Fracket, since she's at her maximum with regard to wolf capacity. But very close by is the new sanctuary, the new home for Beowulf and Fracket. But first, I'm going to have some wolf FaceTime, literally.
Of course, they're doing the real thing. I'm sort of doing the 1930s Wolfman sort of call. But to me, there's nothing more cool, more eerie, almost lonely sounding than the call, the howl of a wolf. But in fact, it's just another example of the many ways these creatures connect to other members of their community. So many ways of communication, from the actual auditory sound of that eerie wolf's howl to the invisible ways of communication, such as smell, to actual physical behavior, reading body language. Now, an animal like this would pretty much represent the alpha. This is the leader of the pack. Okay, you can have up to 30 wolves in a community, in a clan. And essentially, the territory of these creatures may be as small as 50 miles, but could be as expansive as 1,000 miles. And when you're tightly bound, it's very important that you learn who's boss. And this guy's teaching me. He's saying, you know, I like you. You're kind of nice. I'm going to rub my scent glands on you so you fit in. But listen here, Jeff. You're a great guy, but I'm in charge. Now, what I should do is my job is to roll over and present my stomach like this. By presenting my stomach to this wolf, I'm showing ultimate submissive behavior. And he's just smelling me up. He says, okay, you're cool. You can stay. Can I stay? All right. See, it's all about smell. It's all about body language. And it's all about learning where you fit into the pack. Because if you learn to get along, if you learn to show physical ways and chemical ways of interacting with each other, you can diffuse tension. See, I taste good, don't I? I know you're eating something very expensive. Finally, our wolves are here.
Oh my God, he's on the trampoline.
What a clown.
Hi.
All right, I'll see you around.
Okay.
See you around there.
We'll be there.
Well, guys, this is it. The wolves have survived a distemper outbreak, cramped and poorly maintained enclosures, and a road trip that would make even Chevy Chase cringe. But now it's time for them to taste some of the good life.
Finally.
Good going, guys. Welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
So how was the trek?
Long.
Yeah?
Good trip.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Safe and good. They're fine.
Well, they look great.
I need my volunteers
Yeah,
over here
come
to
on,
care.
guys.
4 guys per cage.
Well, I gotta tell you,
Easy. They will.
it's been a tough trip for all these guys. I mean, these guys have had to travel, across many states to get here. In this van, nonstop with these creatures. I had to travel first class and I forgot my low-fat meal, so I know the pain you guys have been feeling, really. Remember back in Houston, Texas, that miserable little closet space of wire and dirty earth? The volunteers have been working tirelessly to produce this fantastic paddock that has trees, and there'll be lots of stimulation for these animals to really have a sense of quality in their existence. Here we go. Okay. There you go, buddy. Look at this. Right now, Beowulf, our beautiful Beowulf, is in a small little cage, but very soon he'll be free to roam. And I bet this is the first ponderosa pine he's ever seen. All right, shall we go get Fracket? All right, let's go get Fracket. And it really was, for most of these folks, a labor of love, a commitment to make sure that 2 wolves, neglected and forgotten, have a chance, have an opportunity for a new lease on life. This is where you want it, Pat?
That's fine. We'll
Okay.
move Beowulf to face that way a little bit so they can go together.
Okay.
It's wonderful. I can't believe it.
This is the moment. Value not only in the many that make up a species, but the individuals as well. A creature misunderstood, not always appreciated, but today is a different day. First, it'll be Fracket, the bold wolf, the one that came over, made first contact. Fracket, there you go.
There you go, girl. There you go. Go on, baby. Go on. You're free. Yes. Okay.
There's Fracket.
Oh, my God.
There we go. Now it's time for our mighty man here, Beowulf, this gorgeous wolf, to connect with his mate in his brand new home.
Good boy.
And there he goes, guys. There's Beowulf, soon to meet Fracket, together enjoying their new free existence here.
What a great moment for these wolves. What a great moment for us, and what a great adventure this was as we followed the arc of the great North American wolf, Canis lupus. We looked at its ecology, we looked at the conflict these creatures experience, as we human beings try to learn with the other residents of this great country of ours, the wolf. Until we meet again, I'll be looking forward to seeing you only on the Jeff Corwin Experience. I'm going to find my horse.
He's doing his thing. That's a sharp claw. That's a sharp